Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be making the Disney princesses if they were modern, like in modern times. And I'm really sorry for the lack of uploads, but I had finals, and then I immediately had tech week, and then I had over this weekend my performances for the play I was in, so I have not had a chance to make any videos, but I did find this in like my drafts of like things that I could make if I was just needed to make content as in a tight pinch, so that's what this is. And it's going to be I think 3 or 4 part series of all of the Disney princesses. So we're starting with the original 3, so we're obviously starting off with Snow White, and I don't know why it says Stacey Jeffers up there, so that's pretty weird, but it will be changing her name to Snow White. And I will upload these Sims to the gallery under Mr. the Doggo, so if you want to find them, that's where they'll be. I got told in my first voiceover video that it was kind of like an ASMR version of me, so maybe it's like that again, I don't know. Sometimes I'll listen to, like, oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys watch Ellie and I, but she has such a soothing voice, and especially in her old videos when she went by Summer Kitten, oh my gosh, I literally watch those to fall asleep because they're so soothing and relaxing. So this is Snow White, obviously, because she was the first ever animated Disney princess for with a feature-length film. So we gave her that red lip, we gave her the pale skin, just all the classic things. Even though a red lip, a lot of people wear it, but it's not like the most modern thing. We went most like trendy modern with Cinderella, but I kind of went more classic with Snow White just because she has so many classic traits. So we're giving her that brown eyeshadow. I think it'll be brown eventually, yeah. So how was everybody's weekend? I had obviously my play. It was a very fun experience. One of the most fun experiences I've had doing a play. Rehearsals lasted about 2 months, and then we did it. So I did click on that 20s hairstyle. Because I was thinking that we could maybe make it a little bit more classic, because that's also in right now, is taking on a bunch of, which is why we end up giving her a corset, because corsets have gotten really trendy again, but along with a bunch of other things, but I end up making her hair a little bit more modern, because that's more in line with what we said we were doing. I was also looking at a reference picture, so I kind of made her body like how the reference picture was, as she is only supposed to be 14 in the original. She is only supposed to be 14 in the original movie. Even Walt Disney himself was looking for a 13, 14-year-old to be her voice. So she is supposed to look a little younger, but this is her kind of more aged up. And I thought that white looked really good, and from far away the flowers kind of look like apples as well. So I thought that really fit. And then I was looking for a more yellow skirt, and I did like that yellow skirt had blue accents, but it was just such an ugly color of yellow that I could not get behind it, and I did end up switching out the skirt because it was just, I don't know, kind of odd looking. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just, I liked the solid yellow. I felt like it fit more with her original face, her original reference. So I think we're just giving her, some simple blue nails, and then we'll be done with her and move on to Cinderella. We also gave her the Love the Outdoors trait, the Neat trait. Oh, we didn't give her the Love the Outdoors. We gave her the Neat trait, the Loyal trait, and Cheerful trait, as well as the freelance botanist aspiration, I'm pretty sure. Okay, next is Cinderella. So I separated out her name a little bit. So I immediately changed her skin tone to more of this peachy tone, and I'm looking at a reference picture of her. And then I just make her nose a little bit more small, and also a little bit more, I don't know how to describe it, like angular kind of, and also gave her a little bit more of a defined Cupid's bow kind of lip, and also some smaller eyes, and obviously they're blue. So then next up, I give her obviously a thinner brow because, again, I was looking at the reference image. The movie was from the 1950s, so they had thinner brows. Obviously not as thin as what a 1930s Snow White would have, but also the 30s, or not 30s kind of brow, but obviously also like the 90s kind of thin brow. I mean, not to the level of the 90s, but a lot of like thinner brows are more in style right now. I'm being super finicky with the eyebrows right now. I just really wanted to get them right. I felt like eyebrows are just such an important part of the face. I think I pretty much stick to that original skin. I don't think I look very far. I really liked the original skin. I thought it was very princessy, so I ended up going with that. And then I also thought it suited her features well. And then I give her some more natural eyelashes than we gave Snow White, because her eyelashes aren't as pronounced as Snow White's were in the reference images, and also she has blonde hair, and blonde hair suits itself to fair, more subtle eyelashes. I also gave her those eyes that I really like because I finally got the opportunity to use them, and I was trying out some different false eyelashes, because even I didn't give her such big natural lashes, but it doesn't mean she can't wear falsies. So then I started looking for a hair, and I didn't really care about it looking too much like original, but I did go with this kind of strawberry darker blonde because that's what it was in the original. They now mark her as more of like a yellowy lighter blonde, but in the original she had a more strawberry blonde. So I ended up giving her this with the bows on it because a bow motif is really like popular in her movie. You see it a lot in Cinderella, so then I just gave her this like more natural makeup than we did with Snow White, but just very pinksies, because in Cinderella it doesn't really look like she's wearing that much makeup. And then I also adapted her body to look like the reference images again. And then I already kind of knew I wanted to go with a more sporty look with her, just because I thought it'd be really fun if she was like a dance machine, because she obviously met her Prince Charming at the dance, and her whole story is kind of about the dance. And I flip in between leg warmers and shoes and everything for the longest time. I could not figure out which ones I wanted. Like, if I wanted the boots, I knew I wanted something to cover her legs, because I'm really obsessed with like harmony of like your fashion, and it just always feels like there's just so much space in between the legs and the shoes without something covering the legs when you're wearing that short skirt. I don't know how to describe it. I see it less in real life, especially if you have a longer torso, but in The Sims, that's how I feel all the time. And I was also looking for shoes that kind of reflected like the glass slippers, because obviously what she wears in the movie, and so I thought that'd be fun. So now we're picking out her traits, and I obviously wanted to give her kind traits because she's a very kind person in the movie. So I gave her neat, I gave her family oriented because she really cares about her family even when they hurt her, and I think I end up changing that practice makes perfect one to dance machine, but she is very much a perfectionist as well. And then I give her the soulmate aspiration, because this was Sleeping Beauty, and I named her Briar Rose because I wanted to take more inspiration from her Briar Rose look than her actual Sleeping Beauty look, because I do prefer the Briar Rose look to the Sleeping Beauty look. So I looked for a skin tone that was different, because I did want to make them all look different, and I gave her This is only slightly darker than the rest of them, but she also does have a more of a tan than the rest of the princesses. And I gave her violet eyes. And I gave her more of a straight nose because she does have more of a straight nose, whereas the other girls have a button nose. Again, the movie came out in I think the 50s, might have been the 60s. So again, we want to give her more of those thin brows, especially because they're still in style. But yes, it was in 1959. So now we're picking out her skin, and I didn't want any of the girls to have the same exact skin. We end up going with this one. I end up giving her more fair eyelashes as well, considering she also has blonde hair. And I gave her eyes that obviously would show that she had violet eyes. So none of the ones at the top that I usually go for were really showing that, so I went with these. Because I have the Praline Ultimate Collection of eyes. I love all of Praline's Ultimate Collections because I use the makeup and the eyes from that all of the time. So I did get a little more alternative on the makeup than I did with the rest of the girls, but I still didn't go too alternative. I think I ended up giving her a little purple under her eye, and that's pretty much it, but it is still a little bit more out there than the other girls because obviously Cinderella's more sporty, and Ariel, oh my gosh, and Snow White is more classic. Again, more like warm blonde hair than a cool blonde because she really has more of a warmer blonde, and they still promote her with the warmer blonde, whereas like with Cinderella they give her the more cool blonde again for some reason. And I did want to give her more bangs because she has curly little swoopy bangs that are actually really cute in the original movie. And so I ended up giving her this hair, and then I really wanted to look that headband because she has a headband when she's like Briar Rose. And again, I wanted to go more for the Briar Rose purpley look because I really couldn't decide. Like, then when you get into Sleeping Beauty, which she only has for like 20% of the movie, she really has her Briar Rose look more. But when you get into Sleeping Beauty, then you have to decide if you want pink or blue. And it's a little bit more complicated, and it really doesn't. It's really just harder to figure out. So I went more purple because that was like definite. She has a purple theme when she's Briar Rose. Or I might just be making that up. But I always interpreted her Briar Rose look as being purple. It's just kind of like blue and pink together is purple. So I think she might be a little bit more muscular than the other girls. She did live in the woods for a lot of the time, so that it would make sense that she'd be more muscular. I mean, all of them do a lot of like cooking and cleaning, so I try to go for a look that would suit headbands. So usually that's either more of an academia look or more of a cottagecore look, but because she literally lived in a cottage, I went slightly more cottagecore. So I gave her this cute little vintage, a kind of puffy thing that she has. And then I gave her just again, this is kind of cottagecore, I don't know how to describe it, but it really reminded me of her Briar Rose look. And then we give her traits, which would be a friend of the world, because she really was just friendly. Really was just a friendly person. And then we gave her romantic, because like her whole love at first sight thing. Lazy, because she's sleepy. And then also loves the outdoors because she did. And then I changed her trait to dance machine. So anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video. There's going to be more to come, and bye bye.